It is the first Sunday of the 2021 regular season here in sunny Landover, Maryland, where the Washington football team is set to host the Philadelphia Eagles in the first NFC East showdown of the season. I'm Cory Puffett, and the road to Super Bowl 56 began Thursday night as the Cleveland Browns avenged their division round loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, thanks in large part to Nick Chubb's 176 all-purpose yards. We'll wrap up Week 1 at the end of the video, including the Super Bowl 55 champion Bucs, who play on Sunday Night Football. But in this game, Taylor Heinicke gets set to start his first NFL regular season game since 2018 with the Carolina Panthers, when he went 33 for 53 for 274 yards, a touchdown, and 3 interceptions. The Eagles, meanwhile, are coming off a 4-11-1 season in which they ranked in the bottom half of the league in points and yards on both sides of the ball. Dylan Cantrell got a lot of run at tight end in the preseason, but Logan Thomas is coming off a breakout season in which he was targeted more than 100 times and finished with 670 yards and 6 touchdowns. He hopes to increase his productivity in this year's offense. Ron Rivera, the head coach, would have to wait to see that unit's first action of the season, though, as the Eagles won the toss and sent Carson Wentz out first. Wentz enters the third of a 6-year, $159 million deal. Rumors swirled around him during the offseason, but the Eagles either couldn't or decided not to trade him. On the first play of the game, Wentz gets a little antsy in the pocket and tosses one off the mark for his receiver, but a flag comes in, and Matthew Ioannidis, who had a terrific preseason, makes a mistake. He's called for roughing the passer. That'll move Philly up to the 40, where Miles Sanders is met by Landon Collins for no gain. Washington's defense off to a good start, the penalty notwithstanding, but now on 2nd and 10, a big space opens in the middle of the field for Greg Ward. He's got 20 yards across to the other 40-yard line. Ward re-signed with the Eagles this offseason on a 2-year, $1.96 million deal. Next play, Wentz throwing again, and again the Red Sea parts in the middle of the field. This time for Zach Ertz to pick up 19 yards down to the edge of the red zone. On the reverse angle, you can see those shallow crossing routes clear the middle of the field, and Ertz finds the soft spot, sits down right in front of Wentz. Cameron Curl comes up to make the stop. Defense on their heels. Wentz looking for Dallas Goedert on the wheel and hook, but there's Curl again, this time knocking the ball away. 2nd and 10 now, Wentz takes off. He powers through one tackle, but here comes Kendall Fuller, and the ball is out. Washington has got 4 players there, and Cameron Curl in on the action for the 3rd straight play. This time recovers the fumble down around the 5-yard line. Rivera pleased as he sends Heinicke, his offensive unit, out for their first work of the day. Heinicke excited to go after leading Washington to a 3-1 record in the preseason. Washington got started with a modest 3-yard gain on the ground by Antonio Gibson on 1st down. On 2nd down, Heinicke finds his backup tight end Dylan Cantrell for 11. And then on 3rd down, we highlighted him in the pregame. There's a 9-yard pass to the starting tight end Logan Thomas. Back-to-back carries by Gibson picked up 5. Washington faces 2nd and 7. Heinicke looking for Thomas again, but the throw way off the mark, right to Clarence Hitchens. Thomas can't get a hand on him, and he'll take this one 40 yards to pay dirt, where he will celebrate with Avonte Maddox. Jonathan Allen and the Washington defense look on in frustration after they forced a turnover on Philly's opening drive. An inaccurate pass by Heinicke, and the 2nd rounder out of LSU is right there. A quick weave around Thomas, and there's nobody in Hitchens' path. So back out comes Heinicke. Completed a couple passes on that last drive, but he'll need to shake off that ugly interception. Rivera has faith in him, so he'll drop back on the first play of the next drive. And oh no, it's the other half of that last celebration, and the 4th-year man out of Pittsburgh, Maddox, cuts the route, and it's pick sixes on back-to-back plays for Heinicke and the football team. Rivera upset on the sideline. Cole Holcomb not happy either, not sure what they're more upset about. The poor ball placement by Heinicke throwing it too far inside, or the lack of effort by Terry McLaurin as he doesn't come back to meet the ball. A call back to whose line is it anyway, and moving people on the celebration. So here comes Heinicke once more, and you gotta wonder what's going on in his head. Clearly Rivera wondering the same thing as Washington got conservative on offense. 1st down, a fake pass, but Philly isn't biting. Gibson only picks up 2. On 2nd down, Heinicke with what should be a safe pass to Gibson out of the backfield, but he's late getting it out. The ball badly off target. 3rd and long, Washington tries a screen, and this time Heineke does get it to Gibson, but it's well covered. Washington's got a punt. So here comes Carson Wentz. The special teams unit encourages him, figuring the 14-0 lead has got to have settled his nerves after that early turnover. A couple pass plays netted Philly 6 yards. Washington's forced a 3rd and 4. Wentz sends Jalen Reagor in motion. He'll clear out a bit of room for Ward to pick up the first down yardage. Get another look on the replay as Ward cuts inside underneath Reagor's go route, well executed to get him just enough space to move the chain. A few plays later, it's another first down for Philly. Wentz rolls right in the pocket, finds Dallas Goedert. Fuller's there, but that cut inside by Goedert so sharp it bought him a couple yards of separation for the uncontested catch. Fuller swoops in quickly to make the tackle, but too late to disrupt the play. 3 plays later, Washington is forced another 3rd down from the shotgun. Wentz gives it to Miles Sanders. He sees the hole, cuts back, but it closes in a hurry. Number 49 there, Shaquem Griffin tries for the tackle. Sanders sticks an arm out to keep him off, but that wasted movement bought Landon Collins just enough time to close the door on that hole and stop Sanders short of the sticks. Cairo Santos comes on, and the Eagles have a 17-0 lead over the division rivals late in the first quarter. Of course, in last year's season opener between these two teams, Philadelphia held a 17-0 lead until Washington finally reached the end zone in the 30th minute. Washington went on to win that game 27-17, something no doubt offering a sense of hope to an otherwise disheartened offensive unit. Washington stayed on the ground as Barber goes in motion and Gibson takes the handoff. Great block by Barber, sets the edge, gives Gibson enough space to get to the corner. Finally met and driven out of bounds. Rivera has to step out of the way. Another play goes by, and now it's 3rd and 4. Heineke with an accurate throw to pick up the first, but definitely put his tight end in harm's way. Logan Thomas does a great job of completing the catch as he runs into traffic. On first down here, Gibson runs between the tackles. He'll pick up 5 yards on the final play of the first quarter. Washington trails 17-0, but they seem to have a little bit of momentum now offensively. First play of the second quarter now. Heineke has Logan Thomas underneath, this time with nobody close enough to prevent him from picking up a couple extra yards. 3 plays later, it's 3rd and 7. The low throw, and McLaurin goes down to grab his first catch of the afternoon. Later on the drive, Gibson finds some space. He's going to try and cut back to the middle of the field, but he's a little late. Still, it's enough for a first down. An overhead angle shows us Gibson cut back almost right into Maddox, and though he muscled through that contact, Kamu Grugier-Hill is right there to make the stop. On 2nd and 10, Washington going back to the well of screen passes, and this one is well timed as the Eagles bring a heavy blitz. Gibson has space to pick up 14 yards and another first down to the 15. On 2nd and 9, rookie running back Matt Vernon gets his first regular season carry in the NFL. Only went for a yard, but we'll get a quick look at the second rounder and the rest of Washington's 2021 draft class. So we've got 3rd and 7 in the red zone. Heineke looks for Gibson out of the backfield on that angle route they love so much. Philly must have seen that one on film, though, and Jim Kramer's right there to make a terrific tackle 1 yard short of the marker. This replay angle, a great shot of the 5th overall pick out of Ohio State, not only covering the route perfectly, but making a great arm tackle as Gibson tried a jump cut to get some space. Unfortunately for Kramer, that terrific play went to waste as Washington converted the 4th down with Matt Vernon on the ground. And then 2 plays later, Heineke's got a window to Terry McLaurin in the end zone for 6. Just what the doctor ordered for Washington's offense. Badly needed that one. We get another look here at it. A couple of angles on that catch for McLaurin. Now the booth would take another look at this one, and we'd get an additional angle to look at. So tell me if you see something I don't, but nothing here that I think would overturn the play. The officials agreed with that, and Washington would cut the lead down to 10 on the extra point. The Eagles' offense back on the field. Wentz with a tight window, but gets it to Miles Sanders for 6 yards. They'd convert that, and on first down, Wentz goes play action, has a wide open Jalen Reagor, but the second-year man out of TCU can't hold on to it. On 2nd down, Wentz will take off, and this time, he'll slide to protect the ball. Eagles line up for 3rd and 1. Miles Sanders, a huge hole to burst through, but you see in the middle of the field, wide receiver Travis Fulgham is called for a block in the back. That would push the Eagles back 10 yards. They now have 3rd and 2. Washington's already stuffed one of these, but not this time. Landon Collins again crashes down to fill the gap, but a nice hesitation move allows Sanders to slip through the diving attempt to pick up additional yardage beyond the line of gain. Great second look at that play and the missed tackle by Collins. On the next play, plenty of time. Space opens up to the left of the hash marks for Travis Fulgham, making up for that penalty earlier on. He picks up 19 yards. A few plays later, out of the 2-minute warning, it's Fulgham again, picking up the 3rd and 1 down inside the 10-yard line. Washington calls a quick timeout. 1st and goal. Wentz is throwing, and he's got Goddard underneath for 6 yards. Landon Collins makes the touchdown-saving tackle, and Washington takes another timeout. So 2nd and goal from the 1. Wentz is throwing. Landon Collins again, this time breaking up the pass, stopping the clock, forcing 3rd down, but Philly brings out the big bodies, and fullback Alex Arma Jr. will power into the end zone. The free agent signee celebrates his first touchdown since the 2019 season with Carolina, and we get a look at Taylor Heineke, disappointed he won't be able to cut the lead down to a single possession now before halftime. On the replay, you see Arma sidestep the diving tackle by Danny Trevathan. Even better look on that overhead view. So time for one more possession for Washington's offense. Heineke settled down since those early picks, but Gibson hasn't found much room to operate in the ground game. With time fading in the half, that probably won't change here though. Washington's got to throw, and throw they do. Heineke muscles this one into Logan Thomas on the intermediate out route. Washington hurries to the line. Heineke slides left in the pocket. He's got McLaurin near the sideline, but he's tackled in bounds. Again into the hurry up, and Heineke is nearly sacked, just gets that one away, and it bounces off his lineman and dangerously into the air before falling to the turf. Another incompletion brings up 3rd and 10, and Heineke looking for Thomas on the corner route. Once again, overthrows his tight end. Darius Slay is there to pick this one off. Gets 2 feet in bounds, shows off a bit in front of the Washington fans, and we'll get a good angle of him stretching out to pull it in while keeping his feet well in bounds. So Philly takes over. Wentz and his offensive unit congratulate the defense on a job well done. On 1st and 10, a good job by Jalen Reeves-Maben to shed the block and hold Sanders to 2 yards on the screen. Philly takes a timeout, and on 2nd and 8, there is Zach Ertz with space in the middle of the field. Takes that for 17 yards across the 50, and the Eagles take their 2nd timeout. 26 seconds now left. Wentz finds Ward for another 15 yards. And rather than burn the last one now, Philly runs the clock down before calling their final timeout. They send Santos out to try from 50, but you see it drift off to the right. Might have just had the distance, but Santos a bit off of the mark. Washington ran the remaining 6 seconds off the clock, and that took us to halftime. Turnover is certainly an issue in the first half as Heineke threw 3 picks, but you see on the broadcast graphic, well under 4 yards per play, and that doesn't give a team much chance at making up for those turnovers. We'll take a trip around the rest of the league after this game, so apologies to Jonathan Coachman, but we'll skip the halftime report and get right to second half action after this replay of the Maddox interception return for a touchdown. And you see the first half stats for Taylor Heineke, not good, but Washington gets the ball with a chance to cut into this deficit. A good start for Washington as Antonio Gibson takes the opening handoff, finds a hole, and has a smooth run, 12 yards. A couple plays later, Washington looking to the RB screen again. Philly has it well covered. Gibson should have just dropped that one, and we get another look at the stellar coverage by the rookie John Kramer. He racked up 12 tackles in the game, 3 of them, like this one, for losses. So it's 3rd and very long. Heineke has time, and he's looking to Logan Thomas again. Will Parks tried to cut it off, but he's a bit late. Play goes for 28 yards. Down 17, Thomas doesn't feel like celebrating, but it's worth taking one more look at that throw by Heineke. The drive went no further, though. The next 2 plays picked up a single yard, and on 3rd and 9, Heineke's pass not on target. Washington forced the punt. Miles Sanders picked up 12 yards on the ground in the first 2 plays, so Wentz decides to try running himself. Bad angles by the defense. He's got a huge gain, but there the ball comes out again. This time it's Landon Collins blasting Wentz. Kendall Fuller scoops it for the takeaway. Washington will be back in business on the right side of the 50. We'll get another look at the defensive play. First, the return by Fuller, and then we'll also see the hit by Landon Collins that jarred the ball free. And back comes Washington. We get a reminder of Antonio Gibson's pedestrian numbers on the ground. While he hasn't had a ton of room to run yet, he's been involved in the passing game. That would continue on 1st down. That is that angle route. Heineke's got him for 11 yards. Gibson stopped for no gain on 1st down, brings up 2nd and 10. J.D. McKissick is in for the screen pass. Tries to get to the edge, but that's well covered. They'll only pick up 2 yards, so 3rd and 8 now. Washington tries another screen to the other side, this one with Gibson. Philly's blitzing. Kevon Wallace stumbles. Gibson slips by. He's got the angle in enough to move the chains. Gibson, such a great threat in the passing game, even when Washington can't get him established between the tackles. First and second down go nowhere, so it's 3rd and 10. Heineke thinks he's got McLaurin, but there's Kevon Wallace making up for the stumble on the last 3rd down. Second-year safety out of Clemson turns Washington away down near the red zone. Not much more McLaurin could have done there, just a bad decision by Heineke, and he's now thrown 4 picks today to 4 different defenders. The Eagles' offense makes short work of things. We'll pick them up on the 4th play, already nearing midfield. Wentz finds Jalen Reagor for 14 yards in the quick pass. He's got Goddard on the next play for 18 as Holcomb missed the first tackle. Now down to the 23-yard line. Wentz about to pass again. There's Travis Fulgham in the middle of the field. Will catch that and weave his way through the secondary to put Philly up another touchdown. A little salsa in the end zone, and this game seems to have gotten out of hand in D.C. On the replay, take a look at number 18. Jalen Reagor gets downfield, ties up Landon Collins, and effectively screens Kendall Fuller from any shot at tracking down Fulgham before the goal line. So Washington takes the field once again. The numbers only getting worse for Heineke, but McLaurin greets him, tells him, just get me the ball. On 2nd and 9, he does just that. He finds McLaurin on the slant. Next play, Heineke under pressure just chucks the ball toward the sideline, and there's McLaurin again sprinting back to collect past the marker. Antonio Brown, the drag route. He's got to slow his momentum to catch this one, or he might have escaped the sleigh, but it's another 9 yards for Washington. A few plays later, it's the end of the 3rd quarter, and Washington not much better off than the Rams were last week. After a quick breather, it's 3rd and 8. Heineke looking to Gibson on the angle route. He wasn't going to get to the marker, but Gibson drops it. 4th down gets a lot harder. Washington's got to have this. Heineke is late getting the ball to McLaurin, but the star receiver makes the catch through contact anyway. Watch the concentration and the strength to complete the catch as Parks and the ball reach McLaurin simultaneously. The very next play, a man in motion. Heineke gives to Gibson and finally room to run. Gibson reaches the line to gain and uses his momentum to carry Kramer across the goal line. He scored in all 4 preseason games, and he'll start a regular season streak with that one. The offensive line made Gibson's job easy here, opening a huge hole to give him space to get ahead of steam on the way to the end zone. Washington failed on the 2-point try, and it remains an 18-point game. 2 plays into the ensuing drive, Philly faces 3rd and 1. Wentz looks for Fulgham, but that one's behind him. Kendall Fuller's there, and it's a foot race. Wentz takes the best angle he can, but it has them meeting at the goal line, and by that time, Fuller, like Gibson, has momentum on his side. A poorly placed throw by Wentz, a lunging catch by the veteran cornerback Fuller, and he changes direction almost on a dime. Impressive footwork. The extra point makes it an 11-point game, and a 1-0 start for Philly doesn't look quite so certain. Washington would love to get payback in the form of back-to-back pick sixes off Wentz, but instead, the veteran quarterback went right to work. He hits Zach Ertz for 13 yards on the first play. Danny Trevathan throwing him down. Then Fulgham, he's got all kinds of space 2 plays later, and he picks up 21 yards down along the sideline. Matthew Ioannidis bulldozes through the line, but is off balance, allowing Sanders to burst through for a 15-yard pickup. And then 3 plays later, Wentz to Ward. Poor effort by Washington's defense, and he practically prances into the end zone.
Wentz's pass complete to Greg Ward Jr. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
Ward, his first touchdown catch of the season. The Philly sideline happy with that latest turn of events. Landon Collins and Kendall Fuller have had no shortage of big-time plays on defense today, but they gave this one up. And with under 9 minutes to play, there wasn't much more that could be done. But to Washington's credit, they didn't go down without a fight. They converted this 4th and 10 on the next drive. Heineke a fraction late, seeing Thomas in space, but a contested catch by the tight end allows Washington to drive to the goal line, where Antonio Gibson got an excellent block on the sweep and reached the end zone for the 2nd time in the game. Gibson celebrates. You get a couple angles of that run, including an overhead to show the separation between him and the pursuing defender. And with their lead cut to 11 again, Philly went 3 and out. Washington has the ball again. They come out firing. Here is Antonio Gibson on the drive's first play. He'll pick up 14. 2 plays later, Marcus Epps, he tries to jam McLaurin, but Scary Terry has an opening down the seam. Heineke finds it for 21. Washington hurrying up. They give this one to Gibson. It's a 19-yard pickup on the ground. Time is running short, but miracles happen. They can still pull this off. 2 plays later, Heineke, he's got McLaurin on the corner route, and Marcus Epps, crazy play, spins but manages to relocate the ball and undercut the route. We'll get another look here. Heineke didn't look Epps off far enough, and he must have seen where Heineke's eyes were. He started to turn and follow Harold Howard, but kept his momentum through the turn, got back where the ball was going, a remarkable play, and that was all she wrote. Washington did get the ball back with 2 minutes to play, but a 4th and 2 pass McLaurin couldn't be secured. Philly ran out the clock, and Washington begins the 2021 campaign at 0-1. Not the start Ron Rivera and the football team hoped for, and certainly not what Heineke wanted from his first start in DC. He's thrown 8 interceptions in 2 career regular season starts and is already a third of the way to the 2020 league high in interceptions thrown. Philly will have a quick turnaround as they'll head up I-95 to East Rutherford, New Jersey to visit the Giants on Thursday Night Football in Week 2. Washington, meanwhile, will head on the road to Denver, where they'll take on the Broncos in a mid-afternoon game next week. Before we say goodbye to Week 1, a quick look at some headlines from around the NFL. Social media was abuzz during a huge day for Nick Chubb as the Super Bowl 55 runner-up Chiefs fell in their season opener. Jacksonville's number 1 overall draft pick Zach Monroe threw for 238 yards and 3 touchdowns in a victory over the Jets. Russell Wilson and the Seahawks flew to a 42-35 victory against the Detroit Lions. DK Metcalf caught half of Wilson's 4 touchdown passes in the win. The post-Drew Brees era got underway in New Orleans. Nick Mullins, the former 49er, topped 300 yards and tossed a touchdown in a season-opening victory against the Super Bowl 55 champion Buccaneers. Dak Prescott's return from a season-ending injury in 2020 got off to a hot start. He threw 5 touchdowns to 4 different receivers, including 2 to CeeDee Lamb, as the Cowboys beat the Raiders in Las Vegas. And finally, the Falcons got off to a 1-0 start in New England. Matt Ryan was terrific, throwing for 317 yards and 3 touchdowns. On the other side, Cam Newton had 17 more passing yards and 1 more touchdown pass. Neither threw a pick, but Ryan was more efficient as the Falcons' decision to stick with him in 2021 pays off, at least in Week 1. I'm Cory Puffett, and this has been 2021 regular season action on Madden 21. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like or a comment below. Come back soon for my next video as Taylor Heineke and the Washington football team look to bounce back against Drew Lock and the Denver Broncos in Week 2.